Hey guys, welcome to week 4 of the MedFitness at-home workout. If you received this via email, you should have the workout guide attached to your email, so look for this as an attachment. You'll also have your workout chart as an attachment if you need a new workout chart. We're sending those out each week. Today I'm going to walk through the 9 exercises we have outlined, demonstrate those exercises to you, explain those, and then we'll summarize with some of the key points of how we're going to structure the repetitions and the pacing that we're going to use with the workout. So I'm going to jump right in on exercise number 1. We're going to begin with an abdominal crunch. Let me go demonstrate that to you. Again, this is working the rectus abdominis, the abdominal wall muscles. So this simulates what you do here in the studio. All we're going to do here, guys, is lay down on the floor. Knees are going to be up. We'll start in a flat position. I want you to take your arms across your shoulders just like you would on the MEDFITNESS machine that you have here in the studio. We're going to elevate our shoulder blades off the pad, off the floor, and basically engage in what's called trunk flexion. So I'm going to rotate forward like this, keeping my head in that neutral position. I'm going to go as high as I can go, just lifting the shoulder blades off a little bit, holding for 1 to 2 seconds, and then right back down to that start position. Just a soft touch, not resting in the bottom, and then go right back up to that next repetition. Same exact thing, shoulder blades off, just a little holding for a few seconds, and then coming right back down. That is exercise number 1, and that's going to work the abdominal wall, the muscles on the front of your trunk. From there, we're going to go to standing squats, and we call this 1.5s. So let's show you what this looks like. Again, I've got an office chair here, but you could use a couch, a kitchen chair, the bed, anything in your home that will work is just fine here. So we're going to be working the hips and the upper legs here. So we're going to take a comfortable shoulder width stance, and my arms are going to be just out in front of me. You can have your hands in whatever position feels good to you. I kind of like this position. And from here, from my starting position of being standing straight up, I'm going to take a slow, controlled dip down until I touch that chair. Just a soft touch. And I'm going to go up about halfway, not quite all the way, right here. And then I'm going to go back down, touch again. Now I'm going to go all the way to the top. So that's what we call 1.5s. Down to the touch, up halfway, down again, touch, then to the top. One thing on this exercise I want you to be careful with is when you get to your top position, don't fully lock and straighten your legs. I want just a little bend in those knees. We call that a soft knee in the top position. So that's exercise number 2. From that, we're going to go right into that wall squat. You remember this from a couple weeks ago. Shoulder width stance here, feet out in front of you, slide your hips down to a position that is essentially comfortable for you. I'm going to a right angle between my upper and lower leg. That's good for me. Arms across the chest, breathing, and this is a 1-minute hold in this position. Now if this is too aggressive, this is a harder posture to maintain. Lift those hips up a little bit, scooch up, make it a little more doable. We're still working those same muscles, but just not quite as intensely. So 1 minute on the wall squat, right after the 1.5s for the standing squats. That's going to address your lower body. From there, we're going to go to push-ups with a little bit of a twist today. We're going to do 1.25 push-ups. So there's 2 ways to do your push-up, as you may recall. You can do the conventional push-up off of your feet and your hands, which looks something like this. Or I can do off of my knees, which looks like this. This is a little less challenging, so depending upon your strength, that'll influence if you go off your feet or off you go of your knees. So when we say 1.25, let me show you what that looks like. We'll start in the top, and we'll just slowly stretch down until I touch my nose to the ground. Then I'm going to go up about 1/4 of the way, and then right back down. Touch again, then I go all the way up. So that's a 1.25. adding a quarter repetition to each one of those repetitions. So again, I'm going to give you some details on how to structure this when we wrap up here, but that's how you perform that exercise, either off of your feet or off of your knees. Then we're going to transition to what we call the pullover, which is simulating a pullover exercise. This is for your back and shoulders, and on this one you could do it crouched on the ground or sitting on a seat. I prefer it on a seat. It's a little more comfortable. Again, you could be sitting on a kitchen chair here. What we're getting again is the upper back muscles, and so what we're doing here from this basic posture, I'm leaning forward and placing my elbows on the front of my knees, and then I'm attempting to drive my elbows back into my knees. So the motion we're simulating is this process here. This is what we describe as a pullover exercise. We're doing it as a static contraction. So on the knees, open hands, head neutral, breathing. I'm going to do this for a 1 second static hold. Remember, the technique we use is the first 30 seconds, about half of your strength. The last 30 seconds, all of your effort, 100% strength. So start off by just pushing those knees, elbows into your knees with about half of your strength, breathing as you go. And then as you get to the last 30 seconds, I want you pushing as hard as you can into your knees and then relaxing once we get to 1 minute. So this is called a time static contraction. We're getting the main big muscles of the upper back. From there, I'm going to do a front raise. This is a shoulder exercise. Now I've got dumbbells here, but you could use a gallon of milk, a 1 gallon jug that's empty, of course, and if you fill it about halfway, it's a little over 4 pounds. If you fill it all the way, it's a little over 8 pounds. So that should work for most of you. I've got 10-pound dumbbells today, and this is an appropriate weight for me. What we're doing is we're working the front of the shoulder with this exercise, and I'm going to have you don't have to grab the jug with both hands at the same time. I'm just going to grab both dumbbells, and what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm lifting up until the dumbbell is even with my shoulder. Hold it for 1 second right here, and then come straight down. What I want you to do on this one is don't go all the way down. Go about 2/3 the distance, right about here, and then right back up to the top. 1 second hold in the top. So that is a front raise, isolating the front of your shoulder. I would do all of the reps on one side and then all of the reps on the other side. And again, I'll give you the details of how many reps, etc. in just a moment. From there, we're going to go to a tricep extension. We're going to get the muscles on the back of your upper arm. Again, I've got my towing strap today. This cost me $13 on Amazon. You can find them at Home Depot. Probably any hardware store in the area will have a towing strap. So very affordable, very available. What I'm going to do here is sit down on my strap, and I'm going to basically put it at the back of my hips. From this position, I'm going to grab the front of the straps and then get my arms into a position where they are overhead and at about a 90-degree angle. I need to get situated here. So right about here is where I want my hands to be. I've got approximately a right angle with my upper arm. What I'm doing is I'm trying to push up. So I'm trying to lift those straps up. This is, again, a static contraction. I'm doing a minute of this. I'm pushing for 30 seconds, medium strength, and then 60 seconds as hard as I can drive up, and then relaxing. Of course, we're not moving. That's why we call that a static contraction. So I'm getting the tricep muscles at the back of my upper arm with this exercise. You could also do that with a bath towel or a thick rope. Again, available at any hardware store. If I sit on the rope and put it in that same position, I could pull up like that using a thick rope. With the towel, I can sit on the towel and simulate that same position, grab behind me, and again, grab with both hands, simply attempt to pull up as hard as I can, and now I can use my bath towel. So whatever tools you have are really the best tools to use, because that's what lets you do the workout. Then we're going to move on to bicep curls. So now I'm going to get the biceps, the front of my arms, Again, you could use the rope, the towel. Week 1 we used a belt for this, so you could use your own belt to do this exercise, but I'm using my towing strap. I'm sitting on this, and again, I want my arms in approximately a 90-degree angle, so from my lower to upper arm, this position here. And then all I'm doing again is that static contraction where I get into that right angle, and then I'm pulling medium, half of my strength for 30 seconds, breathing as I go, and then full strength for the last 30 seconds as hard as I can comfortably pull, and then I am done. Again, how hard you pull is based on your strength and your comfort level. So some of you may not be comfortable pushing yourself to a real high level of effort. Work as hard as you can work comfortably, feeling as though you're safe doing what you're doing. But we want and should feel the fatigue in the biceps. We should feel the fatigue in those target muscles when we're doing these static hold exercises. So that's bicep curl. And lastly, I'm recommending the heel raise to finish. This is the one where we're working the back of your lower leg, the gastrocnemius muscles. This one you may recall, very simple. Shoulder width stance, one leg or two legs at a time. On this one, we're simply going up in 5 seconds, as high as I can, straight up, hold it for a second, and then come back down in 5 until I touch. Here, if 2 feels too easy, I would do 1. So if you need to, center that position, leg, and then just go up on 1, hold it, and then back down like that. So these exercises can be used with double, 2 legs, or 1 leg. So that's our workout, guys. Very direct, very simple. Let me give you the quick summary on how we're structuring this. On the exercises where you're doing repetitions, the push-ups, the chair, squat, and so on, I want you to go for 10 repetitions. If you can't get 10, stop and pause for a second, rest for a few seconds, continue to go until you get 10. So you might need to stop once or twice within that 10. You might not need to stop at all, depending upon your strength level. So go for 10 on each exercise where we're moving up and down. All of the exercises where we're holding for 1 minute. The wall sit, we're going to do a minute. The static contractions where we're just pulling or pushing, we're doing that for 1 minute. On the front raise, we're doing those 10 and 10 on each side as well. Abdominal crunch, we're going for 10. So you're either doing 10 repetitions or 1 minute if a static hold or a static contraction on those exercises. I'm going to invite you, of course, to do this at least once. If you get through one cycle and you feel like you still have some gas left, you can do a second cycle or a second cycle of certain exercises if you feel like you just didn't quite get that fatigue that you're after. But the goal here is to move between exercises with as little rest as possible. What we want to try to do here, guys, is accumulate fatigue as we go, so the second half of the workout feels a little tougher than the first workout as muscles are fatiguing. So rest as little as possible, or whatever, again, is doable for you. If you can go right to the next exercise, great. If you need to rest for 20 seconds or 30, that's okay, but rest as little as possible relative to what you can tolerate in the exercise. Of course, we're recommending this workout twice a week. That hasn't changed. That's the same thing that you do here in the studio twice a week. I want to remind you of that 20 grams of high-quality protein after your strength workout within an hour or 2. Remember, this workout guide is an attachment in your email. If you right mouse click on the protein link, it'll take you right to our protein guide. So if you need a refresher, you can see that protein guide by right mouse clicking on the workout guide. And then last but not least, for this workout, I'm recommending you just check off in the box that you did the exercise. So you're using the abbreviation here. So CR for abdominal crunch. Put a CR on the workout guide or workout chart. Put the check below it with the date on top and record what you did for your workout. This should literally take you about 30 seconds to check those boxes and write those workouts in. So keep that on your workout chart. And then my recommended viewing this week is Your Strength Toolkit. This was our presentation that we did on Facebook on Thursday. It's about 15 minutes long, And the link is also in your workout guide here. If you right mouse click on that, it'll take you right to that video on YouTube so that you can watch that. We talk about the 5 pillars for strength training when you're not here in the studio. How to stay consistent, how to have a productive workout when you're not here in the studio. So this is completely relevant to what we're doing with our at-home workouts right now. And of course, any questions, email me, richard@medfitnessprogram.com. I want to thank you for watching today. Good luck with the workout. Have a great week, and I will see you guys next week.